Hey, this is Darren from Property Prosperity. I was just out having Chinese actually with my family tonight, and I reminded me of a story about how I went and did an appraisal of actually a Chinese couple's house, and that doesn't really bear any resemblance. That just basically any relation. It just really reminded me of the situation when I went and appraised their house, and I was sitting in their lounge room, and they had set up on their door, they had a list of rules of their house, and I'm sure the rules of the house applied just purely to the young son who was 7. And I was having to think tonight when I was sitting down with my kids, because I saw there, I think there was like 10 rules of the house, and listed from 1 to 10. I'm assuming number 1 was the most important rule of the house. Hey Dave, thanks for joining. And then it worked its way down. There was a whole pile of things, put away after yourself and all that sort of stuff. But I was interested to see their number 1 rule was work hard. And I think that's probably a cultural thing. Everyone knows Asian people work pretty hard, and they've had to struggle for a lot of things, and particularly if you're a migrant, you come from overseas, you had to, you appreciate all the things you get and the opportunities you had to come over here, and so you take advantage of that opportunity by working really hard and trying to make a success of yourself. So I'd just be interested to see actually what other people number 1 rule of their house would be for their kids, or whether it's their spouse or themselves. And because it made me think, I'm not much of a rules person, to be honest, so I'm not sure whether I would have a set of rules that would apply to my house. But I think thinking about it, and a rule that would be useful going forward throughout your whole life, I think that's probably the key, is what's the number 1 rule that's not only applied to living in the house, but also applied to your life, that would set yourself up for a successful and a prosperous life, I suppose. So obviously working hard is something that can set yourself up, and obviously the harder you work, the luckier you get, essentially. So I could understand why that would be a good number 1 rule. But I suppose from my perspective, maybe because of the culture I've come from, we're pretty laid back in Australia, and so we don't necessarily appreciate all the things we've got. So I don't know, I'd hate to think that working hard was a good thing, because I don't really want to work too hard. So unfortunately I end up doing it sometimes. So I'm not sure if I really want my kids to be working hard, which is probably another thing. I'm happy to impose on myself a rule of working very hard, but whether I want my kids to work very hard is probably a different thing. So I think probably for me, the number 1 rule, and the number 1 rule I think would set them up not just for living in the house, but also for their future as well, is, hey, thanks for the like, I appreciate that, is probably just to be nice, really. And I think that's a rule that could apply to everything. And if everyone just used that rule in life, how much simpler would life be? Road rules and all these legal things, signing all these contracts. And I remember I'm selling houses, and I'm doing finance, and I'm doing developments, and I'm doing a whole pile of different things, building houses and everything, and it's all about this huge amounts of paper, like it's crazy amount of paper that I'm dealing with. And really, if they just made up this 1 rule, is everyone be nice to everybody else, then a lot of this paper wouldn't be required, really. Just be nice, and then the world would be a much better place, I suppose. So unfortunately, I know it's not a perfect world, and everyone just can't necessarily be nice. And everyone's definition of being nice might be different from different people as well. But I just know hanging out with my kids, and if they're just nice to each other, things are so much better, and everyone's all relaxed, and everyone's happy all the time. So that's probably would be my number 1 rule, I think. But I'd really be interested to hear what your number 1 would be. Is it to work hard? Is it to be nice? Is it to, I don't know, make your bed? I don't know. There must be something that you think is not only a thing that would apply to kids that would, be useful to set rules within the house, but also would be useful to set them up in life. So yeah, I look forward to hearing your comments, and I look forward to talking to you again soon, and I'll see you next time. If you like what I had to say, then click on the like button. If you haven't liked it, still click on the like button, because I really appreciate it. And hey, you can just be nice, and I really appreciate it. And if you know someone that's trying to set down rules in their life or with their kids, then maybe click on the share button. Maybe they'll find this interesting too. And if you've got something like me to talk about real estate related, then I'm happy to have a chat about anything. Just put a comment in the comment box. So thanks guys, I'll catch you again next time. Bye.